Hey everyone, welcome back. Spring is coming, so I have some new Dollar Tree Easter and spring DIYs for you today. I want to quickly say thank you to Bright Sellers, who is sponsoring this video today. Sponsors like Bright Sellers help me to be able to keep making content that you guys love. I'll tell you a little more about them later on in this video, but for now, let's get to DIYing. This DIY spring wreath is easy and affordable to make with all Dollar Tree materials. I used these 3 rings from Dollar Tree. I used the bigger one for this wreath. You could use any size you want. And then I used 12 of these spring florals from Dollar Tree. I took one of the bunches and I bent the stem at the middle there so that way it would wrap around the wreath nicely. And then I used some floral wire from Dollar Tree and I started wrapping that around the first one, and then I would add my second one and keep wrapping and keep adding the florals overlapping each other as I went around the wreath. This is a really easy way to make a really pretty spring wreath, and you can take it apart easily since it's only wrapped with floral wire. I think it's beautiful and it looks really high-end, like something you would get from Target or Pottery Barn. It's perfect for springtime. Before I move on to my next DIY, I want to tell you a little more about our sponsor, Bright Sellers. Bright Sellers is a subscription wine program that you get delivered right to your front door for your convenience. For a limited time, you can get $100 off your first 4 boxes. All you have to do is click the link below in my description box to get started. Once you click that link, you will take a quick 7-question quiz that will help match you with wines from all over the world. If you don't know much about wines like me, or if you have any questions, they do have a concierge team to help you, and after you rate your first box of wine, your other boxes will improve. I was so excited to receive my box. Inside the box, there were wine cards that go with each wine. They give you a description of the wine, the flavor notes, and even food pairings. Now this gives me an excuse to have family and friends over to share my new wine experiences with. For now though, I went ahead and opened the Cactus Park wine, which is a Pinot Noir, and I enjoyed a glass while I was DIYing and editing this video. Sometimes a good glass of wine helps get the juices flowing. Thank you again to Bright Sellers for giving my followers this amazing limited time offer for up to $100 off your first 4 boxes of wine. Just click the link below in the description box to get started. I really wanted to make a terracotta bunny, so I picked up one of these little plastic Easter bunny eggs, I guess is what they call them, and I got it at Dollar Tree. And to give it a faux terracotta look, I'm going to use this paint, which I already had. It's from Ace Hardware. It's like Riviera Maya or Maya Riviera, but it just has a terracotta color. You could use any acrylic paint or any paint you have on hand that has a terracotta color. And then I mixed a baking soda in with that paint and it fluffs it up. So then I put the bunny together and I'm just gonna paint that terracotta color all over the bunny. I did 2.5 coats to cover everything as best as I could. Once it dries, it has this terracotta hard look to it. But it was kind of one-dimensional and it was still a little super shiny with the paint sheen to it. So I took a little baking soda and sprinkled that all over the bunny and then brushed it off. And this took away the sheen and gave it that real terracotta feel to it. So it looks really cool. And now I have a faux terracotta bunny for the springtime that didn't cost much at all. When I saw these wooden bunnies at Dollar Tree, I knew I had to do something with them. So I am going to use one of these candle plates from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to start off with the bunnies, and I'm going to use the candle plate as a guide to hot glue my bunnies in a circle. I just hot glued them at their bodies on the side and then their little foot at the side on the bottom. And then you can see here I'm using that candle holder as a guide to form my circle, and I'm just going to keep hot gluing them together as I go around. And I used one package of these, but I needed 4 more bunnies in the end. So luckily, with my last DIY in one of my videos before this, I used some of these bunnies and I had some left over, so I added those 4 bunnies to this DIY. Once I got them all done, I'm going to go ahead and spray paint the candle holder and also this tall taper candle holder that I got from Dollar Tree as well with some of that beige spray paint. Then I hot glued the round candle holder on top of the taper candle holder, and then I'm going to hot glue the bunnies around the edge there, and this makes the most adorable Easter candle holder I have ever seen. I love to use Dollar Tree canvases to print on with my printer. So I took this 8x10 canvas from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to use an X-Acto knife and cut around the edges on the back there to remove the canvas easily. Once I remove the canvas, I just clean up the frame with the rest of the canvas, pulling that off. Then I'm going to take my canvas, and where it was wrapped around the frame, there is a crease. So I'm just going to cut right along that crease, making sure that I don't have any edges flipped up or anything, so that way it doesn't get jammed in my printer when I go to put this in. Now, I did go ahead and tape a regular piece of printer paper onto the back of the canvas, so that way it would feed into my printer nicely and not get jammed as well. So just extra precaution by doing this. And then I went ahead and printed out my design onto my canvas. Now, I used canva.com to create my design, and this is free. So I went ahead and created a free printable for you, and I will leave that linked down below in the description box. So all you have to do is click on it and you can print this on your own canvas. Then I'm going to take that piece of canvas and I'm going to flip the frame over onto the back, and I'm just going to flip that canvas on over there. And then I just use some hot glue to reattach the canvas. You can trim up the edges, but that is it. It's super easy, and you get this really cute high-end Easter picture. I love the expensive pottery that you can get at Pottery Barn and Crate and Barrel, but I can't afford it. So I'm going to create something hopefully similar to it with this bowl from Dollar Tree, which I thought kind of had an egg shape to it. It's just plastic. And then I'm going to use some lightweight spackle from Dollar Tree. And yes, I am just spreading it on with my hands. It's the easiest way to do this and get the most coverage. This stuff gets really damp as you're spreading it on. So as you put it on, you can take it away just as easily. So you want to make sure that you have a wet hand and a dry hand. One hand to put the spackle on, and then one hand to kind of pat it down and to join the seams together. I did all around the bowl, including the bottom, and then I did flip it over and I did the edge because there is a lip on this bowl. So I carefully just placed some spackle on there and then just rounded it out to meet the other spackle on the side of the bowl. Then once I had the spackle on, I let this dry for about 24 hours. The longer it sits and lets dry, the better. Once it was completely dry, I came back and you can see there's imperfections in it, there's some fingerprints in it and things like that, but that's okay because I'm just going to take a piece of sandpaper and I'm going to sand the whole thing and kind of sand a lot of those imperfections out, just making it look a little bit more even, but still leaving a little bit of imperfections to give that pottery feel. Be careful not to sand too much because you can sand it back down to the plastic and you don't want that. Now I'm going to use one of these ceramic bunnies from Dollar Tree. They used to have the little hanger at the top that you just pulled out of its head, but now it's a ceramic hanger. So I'm going to gently knock it off with just a pair of wire cutters. This is up to you, personal choice. If you want to knock it off, you can. If you don't have to. I just gently tapped it and it broke off. I did lose a little bit of the ear at the top, but that's okay because I'm going to take a piece of sandpaper, and this sandpaper is coarser, more coarse than the first sandpaper, and I'm just going to sand that bump down on the top and then sand where the little ear broke down, and it's barely noticeable, I think, in the end. And this bunny matches the bowl perfectly now with the spackle on it and the color and everything. So I don't have to paint it, but you can paint this if you want to. I'm just going to take the bunny and I'm going to prop it up on the side of the bowl, and I just used a little bit of hot glue to secure it down. I did remove some of the spackle on the side so it was just sitting on the plastic in the end, so that way the glue adhered to the plastic and not the spackle. Then I'm going to fill my bowl up with a pool noodle. I just cut this pool noodle all in pieces and I hot glued it down into the bowl. When I was cutting the pool noodle up, I didn't really worry about how I was cutting it up until I got to the top of the bowl. And then I cut the pool noodle up into circles, I guess, and then like half circles. And I hot glued them kind of into mounds and filled in all of the holes as best as I could, so that way nothing was showing. I'm going to be covering all of this up, so don't worry. All right, so I'm covering the pool noodles up with some moss. All of this moss came from Dollar Tree. It's like 6 or 7 bags worth of moss that I just shoved down into this little container. But if I had to guess, I probably used 2, maybe 3 bags to cover the top of this, and I just used hot glue and just started gluing the moss all on top of the pool noodles to cover up all of that glue. And you can kind of push down on it once the glue dries to kind of make sure it all adheres to the pool noodles and you're not seeing any more blue. Then I came back with a pair of scissors and I trimmed everything up nicely, tried to get some bumps and movement along in there to make it look more natural, like rocks covered with moss. But I love how this turned out for spring. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments below which DIY you will be recreating, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.